My sister used to have an old teddy bear, and it used to scare the shit out of me. I don't know why, but it creeped me out. It was just so disturbing to me. The thing had eyes that looked so real. It was as if it was made from a real bear, and its face was just blank and unsettling. I started to get weird feelings about the bear when my sister first got it. She was only a baby at the time, and I was about 4. We had a dog, you see, and he had a habit of eating things, so my mother always had to put it up on a small cabinet in the corner of the hallway upstairs. Every time I went up those stairs, I saw the creepy bear suddenly glare around the corner at me, as if it was watching me. That wasn't even the weird part. It started getting really strange about 5 years later, at the age of 6 or 7. My sister had lost interest in the bear, so my mother just threw it in the old toy basket. The only problem was, the basket was in my room. When I was 9, I was old enough to stay on my own and go to bed without any assistance. I would get into bed every night and turn my lamp off. This is when it got scary. As I was getting some sleep, I suddenly remembered Mom putting the teddy in the toy basket. I slowly turned and looked across the room to see it through the glass. My heart suddenly stopped as I thought about the horrors the plush had caused me, but at the age of 9, I wanted to grow up and lose my fears, so I shook it off and put my head back on the pillow. When I got up to pull the sheets on a bit further, I noticed something that would scar me for life. There, sat at the end of my bedroom, was the teddy. I sat there staring at it for a minute. My heart started beating normally again. When I needed to yawn, I closed my eyes. I opened them up again to see Teddy sitting closer to my bed. At this point, I was really freaked out. I started to move back to the wall and looked around to see if there was any sign that anyone had come in. When I looked back to see the teddy on the end of my bed, I was so startled that I almost fainted from fear. When I blinked, it was gone. I looked around. To my relief, I saw no sign of it. I sat my head back down on my pillow, hoping for some sleep. Then I opened my eyes. It was above my head, staring straight down at me. I screamed as it lunged down at me. I will never see a bear the same way again. A few years later, after years of horror, I burnt it. I sat in enjoyment as the bear turned into smoking ashes in my fireplace. I have lived my teenage life through adolescence. The only thing that I could remember that was in any way similar to my bad experience was when I watched Train Spotting. That fucking baby scene shocked me so badly, but other than that, all was well. When I turned 19, I was about to move into my new home. I had been given the keys to the house and was ready to set up my furniture. After hours of carrying, I carried the final box from the removal truck into the front door and shut the door behind me. I turned to go into the kitchen and put it on the table. I opened to see a cabinet. I took it out, walked into my new living room, and placed it in the corner. Stared at it and thought to myself, I don't remember packing this cabinet. I didn't really care that much, as I had just moved into my new home. I walked back into the kitchen to grab my television and brought it into the living room, where I saw it, the teddy. It just sat there, staring at me, again.